So, is the popcorn you just harvested ready to pop? This may or may not be something you're asking yourself, and it certainly wasn't the case for me. I assumed that, oh, I grew popcorn, I can pick it and pop it, because that's what I see on YouTube. Everyone seems to show themselves harvesting their corn and popping it right away, and these people are either not showing the steps in between that, or any time passed, or they are extremely lucky and the moisture content of their popcorn is perfect upon being harvested. If you didn't know, popcorn requires a very specific amount of moisture in each kernel. It's somewhere between 14 and 16% in order to successfully pop when put under the necessary heat. And in a lot of cases, when you first pick that popcorn, the moisture content is going to be much too high. Especially in our case here in Ohio, we had a lot of rain late August and throughout September. So the plants were still taking up quite a bit of moisture, and when I picked this stuff, it was way too soft. There was way too much. There was probably somewhere between like 20 and 30% moisture in these kernels because they didn't do anything right when I popped them, and I thought this was kind of strange. I'd really never grown popcorn before, so I'm going to explain a bit of, which there really isn't much to it, just how I let this stuff cure. It took some time. It wasn't an instantaneous thing, but really all I had done was laid it out in my house. At first I was trying to store it outside, but then I realized that it probably isn't dry enough outside. The air is still really moist and it's getting cooler, so that's not helping it dry either. It's not helping the water evaporate. So I laid them out inside, and it's been about a month now, and they do pop. They popped after about 3 weeks. Some of them started to pop, but I'm going to show you an example of a cob that is dry enough to pop and one that isn't, and kind of show you some distinctions as to how you can be able to tell whether or not your cobs are dry enough. We're gonna start with the cob that is not dry enough yet. Notice how I'm still able to bend it. I can apply like a braking force to this, and it just kind of flexes, and it cleanly breaks in half, and all the kernels are still on it. See, I have to put some effort into like getting these off. Like they're still they're just soft, and the cob is still soft. You can feel there's still moisture in it. I have to kind of like force these things off, okay? This probably needs another week or so. You really shouldn't have to put much effort. You shouldn't have to like really push these off too much. These are not quite ready yet. Now here's a completely dried cob. Really can't apply any force to it. Really can't bend it at all. And when I do break it, the kernels just shatter off. No effort. They're just falling off. Little bit of force here. Look at, they're all over my kitchen now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they should just like absolutely shred off. No effort, just exploding off. Like I'm really not putting any force in it. Look at that, they're just exploding everywhere. So we're gonna give these a little pop test. Here is a small batch from that cob that wasn't quite ready yet. I know that's a pretty small batch, but honestly, that's the only cob I could find that was still not quite ready. So I still think this will prove something. And then afterwards, I'll pop a normal size batch of the ones that were ready. Okay, so I've let this go on a high heat. As you can see, I've got it on 12 for about 3 minutes now, longer than it would normally even take a full batch to pop, and these are the results. Kind of started to get going and then abruptly stopped and didn't go any further. I mean, again, I know this is a small batch, but I mean, none of them popped properly. Even the ones that did, they barely popped. So yeah, now, okay, let's get going on some of those kernels that actually were ready.